everybody, it is your girl Bella. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about a pretty controversial topic for Christians. Some Christians are going to agree with me, some aren't, but this video is going to be about, is it okay to listen to secular music? Now, this is something I really struggled with, and I still sometimes struggle with it with my walk with God, but the answer is no. We should not be listening to secular music. We should not be listening to things that do not glorify God, because picture this. If you really care about something and you stand for the values of something, why would listen to something that literally goes against it? That's what I'm saying. The Bible says to have no participation in darkness, but to expose darkness. So we should not be participating and listening and entertaining these things, because music is so powerful. And if you don't believe me, you should believe me. Here's why. Because haven't you ever had a song stuck in your head and you're like, man, I can't get this song out of my head? Music is powerful, guys. It affects our minds and our spirits. Think about it. You could be so happy, and then you could listen to a horribly depressing song, and then you're going to be sad the rest of the day. And you're like, why am I sad? It's because of the music you listen to. Music has such an impact on us. Whether we realize it or not, music is powerful. And of course, the devil, he's going to try to pervert things that God created. When Satan was in heaven, he was actually a worship leader. He was the best musician in heaven, and he got kicked out of heaven, right? So of course, what the devil is going to do is he's going to try and pervert music, because that's the thing that he used to do in heaven. He used to be a worship leader in heaven. So of course, the devil's going to try to make it all about sin and lust and drugs and violence. So think about that. Everything God creates, the devil has a counterfeit of. For example, the devil has a counterfeit of prophecy, which is psychics and tarot cards. The devil has a counterfeit of God, which is talking to dead relatives. There's so many examples. There's so many examples of the devil's counterfeits. So of course the devil's going to try to pervert music by making his own version of music, whether we realize it or not. The mainstream media and its culture and the music these days, it's so perverted, so nasty, and so wicked. And sometimes we don't even realize what the lyrics are saying. Some of it is so dark and it's so blasphemous towards God, and we just listen to it with no care in the world. Here is another point to keep in mind. Have you ever listened to a song about something sinful and then you feel tempted? Guys, why even give yourself the opportunity for sin? It's like giving the devil an inch. He's gonna take a foot. He's gonna take so much more than you give him. If you give him an inch, he's gonna take 100 feet. He's gonna take way more than you give him, because it doesn't matter your intentions in your heart. The devil does not care about your intentions. He does not care about that. He only wants to make you sin. He wants you to go to hell. Now, it doesn't say directly in the Bible, do not listen to secular music, but there are some verses that have to do with secular music, because it's talking about how we shouldn't partake in darkness and things that glorify sin. And most music these days, it glorifies sin and it doesn't glorify God. And think about this. I know someone who is a Christian, and they're like, why can't I hear God's voice? Why can't I hear God's voice? You hear God's voice so clearly. What is that? It's the music you listen to. If you only listen to secular music for 4 hours a day in your headphones, how do you expect to hear God's voice? How do you expect to be close to God when you're listening to horrible, raunchy music all day long, and the only thing that's going to be in your head are those horrible lyrics? In the Bible, it says to think about things that are pure, good, and honorable, and pleasing to God. Is the music you're listening to that? Is that what you're listening to? I don't think so, because most music these days are so dirty. Now say, what if it's some jazz band? What if it's some like old jazz band, no lyrics? What if they're not Christian, but I just like the music? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Because I don't see anything wrong with that. I personally don't see anything wrong with that. As long, like, how can a jazz beat make you sing? Like, I mean, if it goes against your own conscience and that's a sin to you, then don't do it. In the Bible, it says that if your conscience thinks something is a sin, don't do it, because it is a sin. If you sin against your own conscience, you're sinning against God. So if you feel convicted, then don't listen to it. It doesn't say directly in the Bible, do not listen to this, do not listen to that. But it does warn us about thinking about things that are honorable to God and not listening to things that are dark, and be careful what we hear, because it is so important to our spirits, because our souls, man, they're so sensitive. We pick up anything, you know? So we got to be careful what we're listening to, even what we're watching. In the music industry, it's so demonic too. There's so many dark things. Like, most of the singers, most of the artists these days, they're so satanic. They do witchcraft, they do tarot cards, they do the new age stuff. Like, why would we want to be listening to that? Why would we want to be funding that? Why? They shouldn't be on our playlist. They should be on our prayer list. We shouldn't be listening to these things. We shouldn't be listening to these things. We should be listening to things that glorify God. When you're like halfway in the world and halfway into Jesus, like, you know you're becoming too much like the world when you're a Christian and you want to listen to secular music. Because you want lyrics that justify your sin. You don't want to be free. Think about it. I'm preaching to myself here. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 16 says, you are God's temple. Don't you know that the Spirit of God lives in you? I'll put the verse up here. But guys, we're God's temple. Would we want to fill our bodies with poison? No, of course not. So why are we filling our ears with poison? Colossians 3 verse 2 says, think about things that are above, not earthly things. Again, I'll put the verse right there. Guys, what does secular music talk about? What does it talk about? Earthly things. Money, drugs, alcohol, fornication, relationships. That's not the thing we should be filling our ears with. That's not the thing we should be filling our ears with. We should be filling our ears with music that glorifies God. I'll give you another verse. And then we have Philippians 4:8. And finally, brothers and sisters, think about things that are true, pure, honorable. I'm just going to put the verse up here. It's self-explanatory. Again, does the music you're listening to like fit all those categories? If not, then we should not be listening to it. Alright, everybody, I think I've done enough teaching on this topic. This is so controversial, but I just want to tell you, I just want to warn you, the music industry is so demonic. We should not be partaking in this as Christians. It does not say explicitly in the Bible, but those are the supporting verses, and I'm sure I could find more. They're going to call me a legalist, they're going to call me extremist, but I don't care. I'm just speaking the truth. If you want to go ahead, listen to your secular rap music, go ahead by all means, but you're not going to live the life that God has called you to. You're not going to live the fullest Spirit-led life that you're called to. So if you want to live the most fulfilling Christian life, you want to hear God's voice, you want to be close to God, then I recommend cutting out every single song that does not glorify Jesus. But with that, everybody, have a beautiful, blessed day. Let me know in the comments if YouTube turns my comments on. Please, YouTube, turn my comments on. If not, oh well. let me know what you think about this topic, because it is so controversial. And I say, if you feel convicted of it, which we should feel convicted of this because it is a sin, but if you feel convicted about it, let us know why, and let us know your experience with secular music and how it's really shifted your life once you got rid of it. But yeah. Anyways, everybody, have a beautiful, blessed day. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.